call. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So we're recording. Welcome everyone to the Bridging the Gap call. The Bridging the Gap call has a specific purpose. Our purpose is to create an amicable solution to keeping the field informed straight from the Kore5. And I think we're doing a really good job at that. We've had many of the Kore5 on so far. I believe we'll have the rest of them on in the near future. Tonight we have special guest Mr. Mike Boggs. We will rattle his cage a little bit with some questions. But first of all, Mike, I want to talk to you about this thing called Cash.me. Did you see Cash.me? Did you see that launched recently? Most people were thinking that it was brand new. I've had a Cash.me account for quite some time.
Yeah, I think it's like 7 or 8 years. It's a Square Cash app.
Correct.
Program, if I'm not mistaken. And if I'm not mistaken, and this is all based on news that I've read about and actually some information that you have sent me, they are supposed to be able to do Bitcoin trading or Bitcoin cash out, whatever you want to call it, in all 50 states by or before the end of this month. And typically with a TML, which is a transmitter money license, in most states you're capable of purchasing up to $10,000 with just your credit card or debit card. So it's going to be an amicable, very quick solution. If people are still wanting just to get their hands on some Bitcoin, doing it legally and compliantly, I myself, as CLC officer, are going to be following Cash.me very, very closely, which is, of course, one of the things why we brought creditcoin.com online, another solution for people to purchase Bitcoin. So we're going to do and continue to do everything that we can to give our clients options to purchase Bitcoin at a very fair price, and that they're not getting scorned on percentages to acquire Bitcoin.
That's a fantastic thing. You know, Mike, I don't think, and this is just me and you talking, you know, two buddies, two friends, whatever, talking. We've known each other for a little while now and have a pretty good rapport. But, you know, I think it is escaping most people how big this is. Like I have posted on Facebook 3 or 4 or 5 times about it. You know, I've had private conversations with people about how big this is. You know, I've tried to express the fact that, you know, right now 17 states are already live for the Bitcoin side of it, but that, you know, 50 states, my God, all 50 states, and they're projecting that by, you know, between 8/20 and the end of the month, I think is their projection. That's so huge, really, because there haven't been a lot of places, like you said, legally and compliantly, that we could turn to, you know?
Yeah, and the big thing about that, don't think that this has just happened all overnight and they're like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Like this has been a 2-year process.
Yeah.
For them to acquire the licenses needed. And it's not, I mean, take a look at Robinhood, which is another trading platform that's only in 12 states right now. So it's not always about the money. It's about who you know. And obviously they've made some great strides and hurdles and getting their TMLs, even a money transmitter license, which is you know, quite sometimes needed if transactions going above 10,000 because of FinCEN laws and all that stuff. But I'm very happy to see what they're doing. But everyone, please do know, I mean, it's been literally a 2-year process for Cash.me to acquire these licenses from all the states. Same thing with, you know, Coinbase, and everybody has their 1-star review of Coinbase.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, but you know, it's taken them several years as well to acquire the licenses that they have, and they're still having trouble in Hawaii and Alaska. So
yes, they are.
So, but anyway, yeah, that's my 2 cents on that one there, Chris.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for shining some light on that. And you being compliance officer, it's always good to hear your direct thoughts and comments on things like that. And, you know, I just had a really good feeling about it yesterday when I saw it. Joe and I talked about it on our show. And, you know, I just wanted to kind of reiterate here that this really is a good thing. And so for all those folks that are listening in and or will grab the actual replay of this, I just want to let everybody know it's a great thing. So a couple of updates I want to make people aware of, and then we're going to get started right into the questions and answers. But a couple of updates I want to make sure everybody's aware of is, number one, the Bridging the Gap call is not meant to be an hour-long presentation and or conversation. So I just want to let everybody know that we're going to do our best to keep these things 30 minutes or less. We'll probably try to shoot for 15 to 20 minutes. We know your time is very valuable, but we also feel that the information that is given on these calls is hugely beneficial to your teams as well as to yourself. So that was primarily my first update. Mike, if you're ready, I don't know if you need to get a drink of water or anything. If you're ready, I'm ready to start with questions. Are you okay?
Yep, bring it on, Mr. Hanks.
Perfect. So, Mr. Boggs, last week we talked quite a bit about, and the week before, about credit cards and them being online. Has there been any progress with that? And additionally, would you say that there's been a holdup? I'm sorry, I couldn't resist, brother.
Well, so for the record, and obviously since this is being recorded, I will vouch that GreenX does have a sponsored bank and the ability with an NMI number, you can Google that, for accepting credit cards. Yes, we do have that. But, so I'm going to use choice words here because please everyone understand that I'm also a programmer. And typically when you're programming something, that usually requires a username and what, Kris?
Password.
There we go. And if you do not type in the username correctly, regardless if your password is correct, what usually happens, Kris?
You can't get in.
I'll be damned. So our wonderful people, and I'm not going to put the name of the bank on here because I'll probably get a very quick phone call because it is only 6 o'clock over there, and I'm pretty sure the executives are still somewhere in the office. But anyway, the bank did not know how to spell cryptogenics. Now, even though, and I'll put blame on where blame can be, did we try a multitude of variations of the username? We did. But when you put a space in front of the first letter and you change the K to a C, you kind of get yourself screwed, and you get locked out with your IP and all this other stuff. And as many times as we had calls with the administrative lady, Candy, she was hell-bent saying that we didn't know how to spell our own company name. And unfortunately, needless to say, they called us back literally about 32 hours ago and said, we're sorry. You were right. I'll be damned. So we have corrected your username and password, and we apologize to your programming team for getting locked out and frozen. Let's not forget that word.
Yes.
Out of our servers to your NMI portal. So as of right this very second, in fact, I was getting an update prior to this call. It is happening right this second. We are capable of logging into our NMI portal to attach to your Pay Now buttons inside your back office. We are aggressively opening, I call them J&J. We have two Johns. The J&J team, myself, and Andre are working very aggressively on getting the APIs connected to the NMI. We are hoping to be beta testing the API integration this Friday. We are hoping to do final testing Saturday, and if not, into the wee hours of the morning on Sunday. We are very appreciative and you have your patience, and we are hoping with that patience we will be rewarding you on the very, very early of next week. We will be testing with a few members. We'll probably just cherry pick a couple people to go into the back office and make sure that they can utilize their card. They can use our card. I really don't care. Do it on a Zoom call. Make sure that it's working properly before we bring it live. And at that point, you'll be able to see the additional option to pay with your credit card and all the other options that we have provided to help people come in for the education. Now, I will also add to that When the credit cards do go live, we will also be implementing relatively quickly the new monthly program that will be coming out once the credit cards go live. So we'll be bringing you updates once the Kore5 kind of get together and introduce the products that we're going to be adding to the monthly program, which, just so everybody knows, it does include the word tea. And no, Joe, it is not tacos. So just so everybody knows, we're going to be encompassing that. Kathy, myself, Will, Steven, and Jeremy will be all talking about different programmings that we're going to be offering for the monthly membership. Just as it was from day one, you will not be required to be on the program to earn commissions. We will never do that to anyone. It is an optional. It's there for your convenience and services.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mike. That sounds good. And it sounds like we're getting close to some more toys. I love that. Your second question this evening, and I may get put in the doghouse for this one, but when can we project that GreenX will be up and done so that we, the consumers, cryptogenics, can see our GreenX coins and communication with our rigs specifically in our back office?
Sure. Very good question. As of right this second, Cryptogenics has done everything that they can and need. The programming ball is now in GreenX's court. We are awaiting them for database migration and mitigation to the new servers. Once that is completed and the DNS is updated, as stated to a few people that have contacted me in regards to the same question, we will again cherry pick from those that have purchased the GreenX rig. We will bring their portals live first and basically turn the whole thing live. But for the record, at this very second, the programming ball is in GreenX court. We're literally just waiting on them to finish up some things to turn the ball back over to us. So I'm hoping very aggressively that we will be able to see that here in the very coming weeks. I know it's taking much longer. There has been some drastic communication delays, not with the teams, but programming between the two different types of databases that we have here at Cryptogenics and the database system that they have over there at Green. I know people are frustrated. I know people are anxious. With anxiousness comes, priviness, concern, or worry. I can assure you that everything that we have stated already is going on ever since July 4th. That's happening. It's happening as we speak. Obviously, as you've seen, there's going to be stuff coming out over the next several days. But hopefully all that will be inclusive of, the cherry picking and bringing stuff forward from GreenX, which, as again, I really want everyone to understand, the programming is all going on at GreenX right this second. We can't control anything at this second. We need them to finish the items that we need to procure for the matchmaking API. But very happy with Dave and the team, Jeff over there, and all the people of the programming team in the IT department. So very sophisticated people. I'm actually very happy to be working with them.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mike. And just for the record, I just want to reiterate that, KGX has done everything they can do to get this on as quickly as possible. We are literally waiting, like we're on the edge of our seats waiting for that coding to come in. So additionally, I would like to also offer a thank you to all the people that have been sending in questions to askkgx@gmail.com. And for the record going forward, if you include your name in your email, we're going to assume that you don't mind us saying that you sent in the question. So just want to let everybody know that as long as there's a name in the email, we're going to go ahead and let everybody know. That way people can keep track of the questions that they've asked and know that they've been answered. So with that being said, the next question comes from Mr. Eldridge, and it's kind of a two-part question, Mike. So I'm just going to read the whole thing out, and then you can attack it any way you like.
Sounds good.
What is the perfect scenario for a green rig in the years to come? I mean, specifically after phase 1 and phase 2 and all the coins have been mined, what are the possibilities after that? And then additionally, how many years could potentially be in the mix for each rig? Is there a way for you to project that, Mike?
Well, that question is almost similar to what does everyone feel is going to happen when there's no more Bitcoins to be mined? I mean, and now that's going to be a multitude of years down. In fact, we'll all be, hopefully in a better, right, a lot older and a better place. And I won't get religious on anyone, but it's the same thing with this. The coins, GreenX coins are going to be available to be mined over a multitude of years. It's not a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. The GreenX software and the GreenX systems will half. So I'll give you an example. So day one, as Kathy would say, would be July 4th. Okay. So by next year, July 4th, there will be the capability of all the mining rigs that are on the floor. I call them on the floor and live, mining against 25 billion coins. The following year, that number will be halved to 12.5 billion. And then it will be halved again and halved again and halved again until it reaches 50 billion. Now, that doesn't sound like it's going to take that long, but if you do half, 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 and half, you can actually see how long it's going to take to accumulate a full-blown circulation of 50 billion coins. So the mining capability of GreenX is many, many years. I mean, I quite frankly don't even want to think about the age that I'm going to be when it's that. And, I have, my middle-aged daughter will be,
Hey, Mike, I'm going to be the devil's advocate tonight, and I'm going to play Jeremy, and I'm going to get the big crayons out for just a second. I'm going to say, I see the sun rising, and it's rising many times.
Yes, over and over again.
Yes, sir.
So after phase one, now phase one is going to continue just as long as the coins are available to be mined. So that's going to be years and years and years. And I'm not saying the word couple either. I mean years. Right. Like Call of Duty, many years, Activision, Sledgehammer, all that stuff. And don't ask me why I know that, because I'm a nerd. But and then, of course, phase two. Phase two is also the applications for residential and commercial services. So that's still going to be privy to the coins and the years being able. I mean, it's all symbiotic. Phase one and phase two are symbiotic phases within the Green United company. Perfect. So it's not going to affect anything. Now, as far as the mining rig, I'm assuming he's asking about the longevity of a mining rig.
That's what I assume too. Yes, sir.
Okay. So the longevity of any rig. If you guys have never owned a mining rig or ever seen one of these things run 24/7, 86,400 seconds every given day, and they're hot, they get warm, and they wear out. Typically, what I've seen from me actually being in this space is that there's typically a 15% degrade of performance over the first 18 months, and then it just gradually, slowly degrades. So the mining rig will become, inefficient as it gets older. And plus, we always got to know, if everybody on this call were to walk into Walmart and buy a brand new computer, I don't care if it's an HP, Dell, whatever you want to call it, and in about 95 to 120 days, the computer that you just bought is completely obsolete. Yep. And and trust me, no one gets more frustrated about that than me, because I am a geek and I have the best GPUs. I have NVIDIA. I have quad screens. I have a server, and I have a laptop that would make you guys choke. So yeah, that's me. I'm that guy that gets frustrated with it. Yeah, I'm that guy. So, but yes, please understand that your equipment's going to wear out. But in the contracts with Green, that when your portals come online, you're gonna have to agree to, they're gonna be there to help maintenance. You're gonna change your fans. You're gonna change your bearings. You're gonna do all that stuff to keep your system running, keep it cool, and keep it on the threshold of its capabilities of the time that you purchased a rig. So, I mean, unfortunately, I can't stop process an ASICs or GPU mining. Always something better is going to be coming out. And unfortunately, I can't take your chip out and put the new chip in, because that's basically the most expensive part of the rig.
Absolutely.
So that, I hope that helps answer his question.
I think it does. I think it clarifies things greatly. So our next question comes from Julie, and Julie says, when will phase 2 testing be complete, or do we know?
Phase 2 will be completed this year.
Okay.
And just so everybody knows, phase 2, based on the conversations that I've had with Dave, we believe, conversations by the end of first quarter next year. That's their goal. That's
Nice.
their goal,
Mm-hmm.
to have that application of phase 2 ready to go for us and anyone else part of Green, live by the end of first quarter. And quite frankly, if they got it done, because I've seen phase 2, if they got it done second quarter, I'd be screaming from my roof with pom-poms and Joe and tacos and all that stuff. They're putting foot to a word,
Yes.
to get it done. And I'm actually, again, I'm very happy to be working with Dave and the team, and very appreciative for them sharing us what they're doing and all the other stuff that's going on.
Fantastic. Hey, thank you, Julie, for that question. We appreciate it. The next question comes from Mafuz, Mike. He says, hello, KGX. I have a question I've been wanting to ask. Do we have to worry about synchronizing the GreenX wallet once we have access to our back office? Thank you.
No, it's already done for you.
Okay, perfect. Hey, I like those short, sweet answers.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah. If anyone hasn't noticed, with the exception of the programming issues and yeah, I'll just say that word. Between the smart people at the bank, and yep, we do try to make things as simplistic as possible.
We do, and I also want to reiterate just for everybody that's going to be listening to this, Mike. It's been my experience with the entire Kore5 and everybody that's worked with KGX. In the creation of this, everybody just wants to see this thing go, and they want to see it go as quickly and as efficiently and as correctly as possible. Sometimes we do get slowed down, but we do give it our best.
Oh, I can assure you that this bulldog ain't stopping.
I know, right? So our last question is from Mr. Krypto Joe himself.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Unless anything comes in over the wire here. So, so here we go. Joe says, hey, Mike, can I send power to my grandma through the air? So I'm going to clarify that question just a little bit for those who don't really know Joe's. His humor is pretty good sometimes. When we first saw the presentation for GreenX, a lot of people were confused, and we were actually under the impression, I will say, a lot of people were under the impression that we were actually sending power through the internet and things of that nature, just, through the air, not using the grid or anything. And so I think that he's run into quite a few of those questions, and he just wants a definitive answer.
I'm so glad he's muted.
He's actually not here tonight. I'm asking on his behalf.
Okay. So, is that you as the insignia?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I was like, well, no, it says Krypto Joe that's muted. Is he here?
Okay. Is he there? Okay, maybe he is here then. My bad.
Yeah, you
He's
just
in the hospital, just so everybody knows.
You can just keep him muted.
We'll keep him muted.
So no,
no,
we cannot send power through the air.
Mm-hmm.
Please understand that in phase 2 of the Green Project, you will be able to get rewarded for the value of power that you create through the products that will be available for residential and commercial applications. Your reward for creating that value with the solar panels and or the other applications in the GreenX system that can be applied to your residential house or to a commercial application will reward you in coins with the value of the power within your area, through the green. Because you're basically going to be powering your rig through renewable energy, which creates the proof of power.
Proof of power.
So you are essentially running your machine in your house with renewable energy. Now, don't get me wrong. You still need to hook it up to a power supply inside your house as well, because quite frankly, last time I checked, the sun's not out right this second.
Nope.
And even the power cells and the batteries, it just, you can't run. The machines are so consumption hungry that, it's still going to use. But using that system, the residential and the commercial applications, will help power the blockchain because your rig is connected to the blockchain. And even though Green is on a sidechain network, an SAH-256 right this second, the fact that it's going to become an ERC20 and the fact and the items that needs to be completed to be on the Ethereum network is quite extensive. Mm-hmm. So the fact that they've been able to present that to the Ethereum network and patent that method over and over again 40 plus times should create some very strong excitement for what's coming. I know, again, we fall back on the fact that I know everyone's anxious. I know everyone's excited that Green is going to do some fabulous things. And I wholeheartedly agree that that's going to happen. Patience is golden. I know it's, and I'm probably the most impatient person on this damn call, to be honest with you. I'm Kris, you know me. I don't hold back if a project's getting delayed, and typically my mouth can be heard from miles. So I can assure you that I'm very anxious to open this all up to everybody in cryptogenics and everyone that is a part of this, and waiting very patiently and very anxiously to see what's going to happen. And of course, the number one question that I always get is, what do you think it's going to do? And I was going to take care of the questions now before they come and ring in. What do you think it's going to do in an exchange? Unfortunately, I really can't answer that question. Do I know it's going to be on the exchange? Absolutely, 100%. Do I know what it's going to be started at? I do. Do I think it's going to stay at that number right away? No. It's going to do exactly what a lot of coins do. Prime example, Kris, is Timmy Coin. Prime example. Prime example. It's just, you got to learn to, as Rob Harris would say, or because he's told me to shut up a couple times, because I would just get mad. But it's just to be patient and just hold. Don't go off and try to recoup your investment, all of it. And this is why Rob Harris is going to be working with me and Dave, and compliantly showing people as it gets on the exchange how to sell your coins and what to do and how much to sell to recoup your initial investment of your rig. Right. And then take it from there. Your appetite is your appetite. Whether you choose to listen to us is your choice. But we want to make sure that when you do start selling your coin, we want to make sure that you gain maximum dollar in Bitcoin for the conversion. So you're not just throwing a massive sale order out there like we saw in like 4 hours with Timmy Coin, and it just plummeted. And that's what happens because people, unfortunately, are greedy.
Yes, absolutely. Your choice of words is awesome. I applaud you. I'm patting you on the back virtually for your choice of words and your answer to Joe's question. I know he's giggling on the other end.
I'm going to throw a taco at him.
I know, right? So what I want to say here is that every one of you on this call is important, and every person in cryptogenics and every person that looks at cryptogenics is hugely important to all of us. We are privileged, honored, and humbled to be servants to all of you. It is our desire to create a good environment, a good family environment for people. For those of you who missed the show that Joe and I did 2 days ago, we actually talked about being good stewards and protecting our families first. And today, because of the family emergency that Joe's had, I did the live today myself, and I spoke extensively about everyone needs to make your family your first business. And it just makes sense, ladies and gentlemen, for you to actually think about your family and think about what your family's needs are, what your family's needs will be in the future, what your family's needs will be when you're no longer here. I know most of us don't like to think about that departure. Personally, I'd like to think I'm going to be around for a long time. However, it is up to us to make our first business our family. And you should ask yourself this very important question: is this good for my family? Before you do it. And if it's not good for your family, don't do it. Okay. There are a lot of us here in Cryptogenics that will lend an ear. If you have goals that you would like to go over with someone, I'm always open, and there are a lot of us that are. I'm pretty sure all the Pinnacles are willing to do that. I know the Kore5's time is limited, but I'm pretty sure if you sent them an email and said, would you review my goals and tell me if I'm on the right track or help guide me, I'm pretty sure they would do the same thing. So with that being said, Mike, as always, it's a pleasure to be on these calls with you, sir. You did a phenomenal job. The answers were fantastic. We had a lot of people from all over the globe this evening, just so you know. So some people are morning, some people are evening, some people are night. I'm going to let you close us out if you wouldn't mind, sir.
No, my pleasure. Again, I want to thank everyone for taking the time out of their busy schedules to be with Kris Hanks, myself, and Krypto Joe, even though he is not live with us. And my prayers over to your family, and we do appreciate everything that you two do for Cryptogenics. And please know that everything that is going on right now with Cryptogenics, and we're going through our growing pains and our issues, whether it's inducive of us or inducive of someone else's misspelling, and that we are doing everything in our power to keep pushing forward, bring stuff more and more to you. And we are still going to be bringing you some fantastic new items as we approach into fourth quarter through the end of this year, to really bring you some really nice Thanksgiving and Christmas presents. And just so everybody knows, I don't know if any of you know where I exactly am, but I'm currently here in Pennsylvania. I live both in Pennsylvania and North Carolina. There's been so much rain here in Pennsylvania that we've there's 4 inches of water in my family's estate's basement. That's how bad it's been raining. And I live in the freaking mountains where this is at. I mean, like, the water should not be flowing. And if we have about the same amount of rain that we do in snow this year, somebody please bring a shovel. Because I'm telling you,
blower, brother.
I'm telling you. And I really do miss North Carolina. But please be patient with us. We have a lot of exciting things coming your way. And my hat's off to my internal team. Stephen, Jeremy, Kathy, Will, and our programming team and our IT department, and all of my attorney staff that's with me here. We're doing a lot of stuff to make sure that these services that you guys have been wanting are going to be, here and coming here to you in the future. And case in point, probably the biggest hint that I could drop about the T is look at what's going on with the other things that are rolling out, specifically since the agencies have rolled Bitcoin a currency. And it has drastically changed our legal game, and how we can move forward with products and new services. So again, very appreciative of you, Mr. Hanks, and Joe. Paul, wish you were here tonight. I probably still would have put you on mute anyway. And thank you so much for everyone coming out here this evening. And God bless to all of you, and a very safe and happy evening and a great rest of the week.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Thank you all. Have a great evening. And don't forget, KTA, everyone.